So this is my first night out here in Moab for the October season. I'm starting off on a really dreary, very rainy day. On my way driving out here, it's just pouring and dumping rain. So already like 5 minutes in on the trail and my truck's like super muddy and dirty. But it's all good. It's like 60 degrees out here, feels pretty great. So I'm gonna be going scouting out a camp spot on sloppy, muddy trails today and hopefully find something that is flat and okay. I found a very mediocre camp spot, but it'll just have to do tonight because the sun's about to set. Can't see it anyway, in about an hour. So I just need a place to sleep for the night. This mud is caking, just right onto my slippers. I don't know how I'm gonna keep things clean tonight. It's real thick out here. So I'm gonna start just setting up my tent and campsite and kind of get some dinner going and hunker down for the afternoon. It's about lunchtime, so I just found a nice little spot right against this butte. Just beautiful view out here. So it's becoming a really nice sunny day, finally not raining. I think it rained on me through 3 in the morning till like 8 a.m. or so. So it was a pretty wet night. Thankfully my tent kept me dry, but yeah, everything's still pretty muddy and dirty. So as I've been driving on this trail back here, I've been eyeing up these towers in the distance. Finally got to them. They're called Determination Towers. So just kind of walking around here. The sheer cliffs all around me are just so beautiful and painted with, just the dark color in the rock, and still pretty muddy hiking around, so my shoes keep sinking into the mud here and there. But yeah, it's just really peaceful and nice to be out here in Utah, looking at all these cool towers and rocks and everything. After driving for a little bit and some pretty tough obstacles, I arrived at the edge of the cliff. I'm gonna be camping up here tonight. There's a beautiful view of the horizon where the sun is gonna set. So I'm gonna be in for a treat up here. I'm pretty excited about it. So right now, I'm actually gonna go ahead and do a little bit of maintenance to my truck. These little weather stripping pieces that are sort of attached to the car by little clips have disintegrated. This is like over 20 years old, so it makes sense that that's happened. So I bought some pieces on eBay and brought them with me to do this quick job, hopefully. took a little detour off the 7-mile rim trail and went down to this arch called Uranium Arch. The really cool thing about it is that the only way to get here is hiking, biking, or four-wheel drive. So there's not a ton of people here. There's a couple guys flying their drones around. I intentionally didn't bring mine because it's just kind of annoying. And there's drones buzzing all around. So when you're driving on this slick rock, sometimes it's really tough to figure out where the trail is. Sometimes they put down these white markers, which is really nice to kind of show you like where to drive. Other times there's not white markers. And yeah, I definitely am not on the trail right now. So I have to like walk around and try to find it again. You know, thankfully I have good eyes, and I was not about to drive off of this thing, but I was like, let me jump out and see what's going on in front of me. So my fridge is a little bit of a pain sometimes. The buttons to control the temperature are like very sensitive, and I hit them by accident sometimes, and this time I really did a doozy. I must have set it by accident to -4, so everything in the one side of my fridge got frozen. So it definitely makes it a little bit difficult when I make some lunch today. So I'm trying to defrost a little bit of the salmon that I have and make a salmon sandwich, but it's solid frozen, so we'll see how it goes. So I've been sitting out here for a couple minutes staring at this obstacle up ahead on 7-mile rim. I didn't know it'd be this scary. It's like you go up and you're sideways and I don't know. So I'm watching these Jeeps do this, and they're doing it. So, I mean, it's possible. So seeing them do it makes me less scared. From my vantage point, I know you have no depth perception through the video, but it just looks like your car's gonna be sideways. I'm like, so it's so scary, but I think I'll be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. All right, so I just made it to this obstacle called Wipeout Hill, and there's no way around it. I want to continue forward and go camping, but the only way to go that way is down this obstacle. So kind of nervous about it, but I still feel confident going down it. This is like the choke point for me going south and west to where I want to go camping tonight. So it's like kind of important to go down this hill. So glad I made it. All right, I just connected to this trail called Hell Roaring Rim. It's like a big loop. It doesn't seem very heavily trafficked because it's just a out and back loop. My campsite that I tentatively mapped out, don't know if it's gonna be good or not, is about 9 miles away. All right, so my plans are foiled. I picked out a spot on the map that looked like it would be good for camping. However, it's closed for restoration, so you're not allowed to drive down that like section of the trail. So I actually made way better progress than I expected I would. I have a lot of time, well, maybe an hour or two left to kind of just continue down the trail and look for a new spot. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't really know any future spots that I picked out, but I'm sure I'll find something to be at least camping for the night. So for the past like 2 hours or so on this trail, the Hell's Roaring Rim, I haven't seen anyone else out here. I saw a couple fresh tire tracks, but that's it. And that's kind of what I love. Coming out here, driving a couple hours into like a really remote part of the desert and camping out with a really low probability of seeing anyone else. So yeah, it's just really nice to be hanging out in the solitude and relaxing, listening to some music, I'm eating some snacks and trying to stay warm because in the shade it's pretty cold with this low humidity out here. I was able to defrost my bison steak in time for dinner tonight. The veggies I had are still solid frozen, so I'm gonna be making some just like bagged Spanish rice. But yeah, I'm happy that I am gonna be able to eat tonight. It seems like my fridge is turning back into a fridge from a freezer, so hopefully all my stuff is defrosted for tomorrow and didn't damage it, but kind of worried about that. That'll change a lot of my plans. My food got ruined. So I did kind of get to defrost my fridge. However, the vegetables got like really destroyed. Like my zucchini is like gross and weird, and the asparagus is not as limber as it used to be. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll go into town and get some more veggies. I'm just like really out here, so I guess I'll figure it out. It's kind of a bummer. The road splits into two when you get to the point. The right side has this obstacle, which is like waist high. So I'm not too worried about going down it. I just walked it to make sure. Down the road is some just amazing campsites out there. And then the left side is a little bit easier. There's no obstacle and the campsites are nice and elevated, but I don't really like to get bothered. So I'm gonna go the harder route because there's gonna be less people that drive down this route to see the sights during the daytime. I hit the end of the trail and I was rewarded with this amazing camp spot. I can have all these different views around me, the river down there, the canyon walls right in front of me, even some of the spires in the Canyonlands National Park are kind of visible in the distance on the horizon. And so I'm continuing to camp at this spot. It's just been a really beautiful day. Finally, it rained a little bit earlier, but I was able to take shelter in my passenger seat and hang out there. It has rained every single night that I've camped here in Moab, the past like 4 nights or 5 nights. So thankfully I'm staying dry in my tent, but it's just this trickle heavy rain overnight at like 1 in the morning. I'm having some fun in the midday jumping around on these rocks that are right on the edge of the canyon wall, so I can get an even higher vantage point out here. It's just beautiful. And while I was jumping around, I heard some voices down by the river, and I looked over and there's a bunch of canoers that set up on one of the islands in the river. So I can just imagine having an amazing time canoeing and camping along this river. So I'm kind of envious of them, but so I'm like hiking around, just kind of exploring the area around me right now. And I keep coming across this braided metal cable. It's like strewn about. Sometimes it's organized and piled in a nice pile. Sometimes it's just like running along the side of the off-road trail. I can't explain what it's for. It must have been some sort of like mining activity or something. I'm not really sure. So I'm kind of walking around checking things out, and I'm going to research it later and see what I can find. So yeah, upon further research, it does seem like here at Mineral Point and a lot of Moab, as you can imagine, there's a lot of mining activity in the 20th century. And so my research is telling me that these cables were probably for like hoisting things off of the canyon rim or even across canyons. And they're just remnants of old mining activity. So it's kind of cool. I ran across this weird metal object as well that was right on the canyon rim. So it was kind of neat to like come across some of this stuff out here. Last night was such a nice night. The sky was really clear. The temperature was warm enough to just hang outside till 9 p.m. or so. I set up a really nice fire thanks to some extra firewood from Steven's event that he had. And man, it was so pleasant outside. I got to see the Milky Way across the entire sky. The moon wasn't out, so the stars were just popped out really nice. Yeah, and it's really nice out here today. This is one of my last days out here camping. This is a shorter Moab trip, but I've really enjoyed it again. Even though it rained on me every night, it's still just fun to get out here and get camping. Just hanging out, in the solitude alone is a really good time. So, hope you guys had a good time along with me.